Hi everyone, I want to talk about giving advice when it's not asked for. Now, we've all been in that position where we have that friend or family member that's maybe not doing so well, and maybe they're constantly making the same mistakes or the same issues are coming up for them, and you just feel that you've got to give them advice, you've got to tell them what to do, you've got to, suggest certain things to them in order to make them feel better. And, your ego says, I want them to feel well, I want them to feel better. And you kind of get attached to wanting or needing to help in some way there. Now, here's the warning. If they haven't asked for advice, you don't offer it, okay? So, and I've been there, I've done it, I've given advice when it wasn't asked for, and I've been on the receiving end as well, many times of being bombarded with advice. And very often when someone is opening out their heart to a friend or family member, they just want to be listened to. They just want to be able to share. They just want someone to hold that space. They don't necessarily want to be bombarded with advice back. So always make sure that they are asking for advice, because they will always come to you to ask for advice if they're stuck. So you can always ask, would you like me to give advice or just sit and listen? And I would probably say 8 times out of 10, most people will just want you just to hold the space and listen to them. So when we are giving advice and it's not asked for, it's very much coming from a place of arrogance within the ego. Now, why is that arrogant, I hear you asking? Well, arrogance is about separation. Arrogance is a need to be better than, in order to feel good about ourselves. So it's where we're not feeling confident in ourselves, where we're feeling that sense of separation there, feeling that we don't belong, feeling not good enough, basically. That's pretty much the bottom line. We're not feeling good enough in ourselves. So what we do by giving advice is that we're saying, well, actually, what you're doing is not working, and here's the advice I'm giving you that you haven't asked for, because you need to try this, or you need to try that, or go down this avenue or that avenue, because I know better than you. So it's a kind of superiority. So it's an arrogance is where it's coming from. And it means that the person that is giving that advice is coming from a place of actually not feeling very good within themselves, not feeling good enough within themselves. So that need to give advice is a need to control the situation. And it's a projection of that stuck behavior within them that's being projected out onto you. So, and you will get the same people that will give advice to all sorts of people. So they quite freely give advice out because it's their need to control. So inside they're feeling out of control within their behaviors and not feeling good enough within themselves. So what they do is any opportunity to give advice is an opportunity for them to feel better about themselves. But they don't realize that's where it's coming from. So keep that in mind, because I've done it myself as well, and absolutely it comes back at some level to not feeling good about myself. So I have to give advice, I have to know better, I have to project that out of me, and it's a way of taking control of a situation there, of projecting that feeling of feeling out of control. Oh, I can control this situation because I know better, because that then makes me feel good about myself. So that's where it comes from. If you're one of those people that gives advice all the time when it's not asked for, the ego says it's well-meaning, and of course you want your friend or your family member to heal, of course you do, and that's where it's coming from the heart. But a lot of it is coming from what you're feeling, that subconscious behavior deep down inside. Now, if the friend or the family member says to you, I'm stuck, what would you suggest? Then is the time to give the advice. But if you're giving it when it's not being asked for, then that's usually coming from your ego and that need to feel better about yourself inside. Hope that helps. Useful insight.